Hello, my name is ABHISHEK and I am going to discuss about the topic today is computer programming language. Now, there are three terms over here. It's computer, programming and language. We all familiar with this particular term computer. What is a computer? Computer is a machine. Simple words, computer is a machine. Now, let us explore these two words. What is programming and what is language? How these two words are connected, and later on we will find out how computer programming language is forming. Actually, what is the meaning of it? Okay, let's see. What is a computer program? Let's explore this particular term first. A computer program is a set of instructions given to a computer to perform any specific task. Okay, so a computer program is a set of instructions given to a computer to perform a specific task. For example, in a computer we have done lot of tasks. We know we can use computer for a lot of tasks. For example, we use computer for listening to music, printing a document, to see any kind of movies, to do any kind of office work. So various to make PowerPoint presentations, we do hell lot of work using computer. Okay, so now, so what is a computer program means? Program, what is a program? For example, if I want to print any document in a computer, so for this what I have to do, I have to give a command to the computer, print command to the computer. I have to give an instruction to the computer so that I want to get my document printed through the device, through the computer. So that is a task. So now here it's literally means computer program is a set of instructions. So I am giving an instruction. It may be a single instruction, it may be a multiple instruction that we give to the computer to perform any specific task. For example, in this case, the example which I have given just now is printing a document. That is a specific task. So for that I have to give a command, I have to give an instruction to the computer to that particular task, to do this particular task. This is the thing. This is called a computer program. So now we come across the term the language. So we all familiar with the term languages. What is a language? It's a very common term. We all know. Suppose language. What do you mean by language? Everybody's the terms come to our mind is English, Hindi, Bengali. These are all languages, common languages which we all know. So let us explore more. What is actually language means? What is the core essence of language? A language is the system of communication that is used by human beings to communicate, express their feelings, ideas, etc. So language is nothing but a media or a system through which we express our ideas, our feelings, our emotions, our requirement. If we want to say something to somebody, if we want to ask something from somebody, we need a particular media, we need a particular system through which we can express our desires, our feelings. That is the media is called the language. Now how it is coming fit in terms of computer, how it is relevant in terms of computer. So we all know, if we ask, we all in general sense, we all know, if we ask anybody to give example of language, so he or she will say English, Bengali, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu. These are all languages, we all know. So what is the utility of this language? So utility of the language is to communicate with other person, other people, so that one can express his own feeling, ask something, or express their own ideas through that particular language. Now how this language is coming useful or becoming useful in our computer scenario, let's see. Now we come to the term programming language. Let's explore this. What is a programming language? A programming language is a computer language. Mind it, or a special type of language. Not talking about Hindi, English or Bengali. It's a special type of language which is used by a programmer we will come later on the term programmer, to communicate with computer. So what it's actually happening, a programming language is a computer language or a special type of language which is used by a programmer to communicate with computers. Okay, let's see more specifically, it is a set of instructions written in that special language to perform a specific task. Okay, so we have discussed just now that language is a media or a system through which we communicate with other person or other beings. So now in terms of computer, we also require a language through which we communicate with the computer. So if we don't communicate with computer, computer will not be useful to us. It will not do anything by its own. We have to give instruction to the computer. For that instruction we require a language, a specific language which is understandable by the computer. That specific language or special language we need to use to give the instruction to the computer to perform a specific task. The example which I have given right now a few minutes before, that printing a document. So printing a document is also a task, right? So sorry, is a task, right? So to do that task, to make that task through computer, we need a language. So through that particular special language, I have to give that command to the computer using that particular special language to get my job done. Okay, so let's see about some popular computer languages which we all know. Most of us we know about these particular languages, which are C, C++, Java and Python, etc. And there are etc. means there are many more languages and day by day many more languages are upgrading and coming. So these are the basic languages we all know, through which we commonly use to interact with computer, to give instruction to the computer. So we can use any of these languages using C, C++, Java, Python. So for example, we say in normal terms, when we ask anyone, any person, so, okay, what other language do you know, he or she may say that I know English, I know Bengali, Hindi, Telugu, Malayalam, etc., Punjabi, etc. So similarly, there are different type of languages, right? In that sense only, in computer, there are also different type of languages through which we can interact with the computer. So one is C, another is C++, another is Java, another is Python. Gradually, it has been developed day by day, and more advanced type of language has been developed. So these are the basic languages. These are the more common languages of computer languages we all know. Okay, now let us explore the term programmer. Here it is written programmer. So who is a programmer? Let's see. A programmer is a person who writes computer programs using the programming languages. Okay. So programmer is a person who is writing or interacting with the computer using the programming languages. So giving the command to the computer, who is developing that particular instruction using the programming languages is called the programmer. Okay. Okay. Let's see the next topic. The next topic is how many programming languages are there? How many programming languages are there? Or how many types of programming languages are there? There are basically two types of programming language. Okay, one is low-level programming language, another is high-level programming language. There are two types of programming languages. Okay, now sorry, let's see further classifications of programming languages. Okay, now what is low-level programming language? Low-level programming language may be classified into machine language or assembly language. There are two types. One is machine language and is assembly language. It comes under category of low-level programming languages. Okay, Another type is high level programming languages. In high level programming languages, we have further two more categories. One is procedural programming language, another is object oriented programming language. Now let us explore this whole concept of low level programming language, high level programming language, and their sub classifications of the programming languages. Let us see further what does it mean. Okay, now let us see low level programming language. What is low level programming language? Low level programming languages are very close to machine codes or machine understandable codes, that is 0 and 1s. They are called binary numbers. These 0 and 1 are called binary numbers. Therefore, program instructions written in these languages are in binary form. So, what is low level programming language? Low level programming actually in computer. Suppose if we give an instruction to the computer to play a music for me or to print a document, internally in chip level, how does CPU do the work for us? Actually in computer, internally in machine level, computer only understand these two languages, zeros and ones, nothing more than this. These zeros and ones, sequences of 0 and 1s are called binary numbers, the 0 and 1. These 0 and 1 bits, this sequence of 0 and 1s actually form an instruction for the computer, and accordingly computer do the task for us. Okay. So when we give instruction to the computer in level of 0 and 1 in binary forms, it's called a low level programming language. Okay, and there are example is machine language and assembly language of the low level programming language. In this binary form, we actually give instruction to the computer, and it is called machine language, and another is called assembly language. Okay, let's see what is machine language. Okay, in machine language, the instructions are in binary form, zeros and ones, which can be directly understood by the computer, that is CPU, without translating them. So we need not to further translate that 0 and 1 to another. So we directly give the instruction to the computer in forms of 0 and 1s. Okay, these are also called machine codes. The 0 and 1 are also called machine codes. Okay, let's see what is assembly language. Assembly language is another type of low level language where programs instructions are written in this language which are close to machine language. Okay, which are more closer to machine language, that is 0 and 1. In assembly language there is a bit difference. It is bit advanced from machine language. Assembly language is bit advanced, bit easier. In assembly language, a programmer writes instruction using symbolic code instead of binary codes. Symbolic codes, meaningful what is symbolic code? Symbolic codes are meaningful abbreviations such as sub. This kind of codes are used, or mal. This kind of codes are used. Sub used for subtraction operation, mal used for multiply operation, etc. So these kind of codes are used to do this kind of operation. Like if we want to do subtraction operation, subtraction of two numbers, then we give code sub. The computer will internally do the subtraction operation for us, subtraction of two numbers, or multiplication, multiplication of two numbers for us. Okay. Therefore, this assembly language and machine language are more primitive languages. These languages are initially developed when programming languages was in developing stage. Initially these two languages were invented, machine languages and assembly languages. Later on, gradually it has been more developed and more sophisticated and becoming more user friendly. These two languages are not very much user friendly. Okay, so these are actually low level or machine level programming languages. So these are called low level programming languages. Okay, let us come to the next level. Okay, let us explore the other. Now the main thing arises is the high level programming language. What is a high level programming language? The programming languages are close. These kind of programming languages are close to human languages. Example, English. So in this type of languages we give instruction to the computer in English language, okay, but in some proper format, and are called high level languages. The program instructions are written using English words. For example, print, input. These are the commands we use in this while giving the instructions to the computer using the English languages. It is more user friendly. Actually, it's more easy to give instructions to the computer in this kind of languages. These are invented later on, so these are more advanced. But each high level languages had its own rules and grammars. Like languages have a grammar, we all know, so it has a set of rule. We cannot give instruction in English language as it is. We need to follow some grammar or rule, so to give the instruction to the computer. These rules are called syntax of the language, okay. The high level languages must be translated into machine codes, that is 0 and 1, before execute or running it. So we are giving the languages in high level. We are giving the instruction high level languages, which has been further translated into 0 and 1s before that particular code get executed or understandable by the computer. So that high level language then get translated into the machine code, that is 0 and 1, then computer understand and do the task for us, okay. But we give the instruction in this high level language, then that high level language get translated into 0 and 1s, which is machine understandable code, and then the machine, that is computer, do the task for us, okay. Now what are the high level languages? There are two categories. One is procedural language, another is object oriented programming language. Now let us see some example of high level programming languages which we all know. C, C++, Java, Python, Fortran, COBOL, BASIC. These are all example of high level programming language, okay. Now let us see what is procedural programming language. Now, procedural programming, it is a programming model which is based on the concept of calling procedures. Procedures are also known as functions or routines. Function consists of set of, what is a function now? Function consists of set of instructions to perform a specific task or action, okay. These are the multiple or many functions in a procedure programs which are called in the program to execute a specific task. So the codes are written in forms of functions or procedures, and we use that functions or procedures in our programming languages and to do a specific task, okay. So these are called procedural programming language. An example of procedural programming language is C, COBOL, Fortran, Pascal, etc. Okay. Now let us explore the second one, the object-oriented programming language. Okay. Now let's see what is object-oriented programming language. Object-oriented programming language or OOPS language is based on the object. In this programming language, this is the most advanced type of programming language which has been developed till date, and it has been further being developing, and it is most user friendly. Let me at this point also, okay. In this programming language, programs are divided into small parts called objects, and it is used to implement real world entities like inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, etc. in this program to make the program reusable. The main objective of object oriented programming language is to make the program reusable. We can use that same instruction code again and again, if efficient and easy to use, okay, and it's more user friendly, and we can easily give instruction in this using or write programs using object oriented programming language. It is more easier and vast use of it. The main advantages of the OOP is faster, reusable, easier to execute, maintain, modify, as well as easy to debug, to find out any kind of errors there in our instruction, to find out issue or error in the program, okay. So what are the example of object oriented programming language? Is Java, C++, Python, C#, etc. So there are many more. there are many more. So Java, C, C++, Python are the object-oriented programming language example. Okay. So so I have completed with my topic today. Thank you. So this is the whole scenario which I have told you about, which I have discussed about computer programming languages. So thank you very much.